Hello, I'm Recoded Zaphod, and welcome to episode 12 on the Centricraft server. This episode, you might remember I finished building the outside to my iron farm in the last episode, and I still need to put in a proper sorting system for the poppies and the storage system for the iron. So I'm going to pop into a creative world at the beginning of this episode and design that, and then I will come back over and build it. Alright, so I've got a design for my poppy filter and storage system for under the iron farm. So this works as usual, taking the power to output here and unlocking this when it gets high enough so it pulls it through. I can't have this one going straight into the composter though, unfortunately, because if you look over here, you'll see poppies start backing up, and that's because when the composter gets full, it takes a moment before it creates a bone meal, which means there's a moment where a couple of poppies can get drawn in, and if I did that here, it would get locked while there are still poppies in there, and then that would back up, and then that would back up, and yeah, it'd break the system. So I need an extra hopper in here, and then that just feeds into a couple of chests down here. I don't think I'll need more than a couple of chests for bone meal, because you get significantly less bone meal than you have poppies, and you get much less poppies than you do iron. So yeah, maybe a third, possibly, but 2 should be enough. And then the rest of this should be mostly iron. I can't bother to actually filter for the iron because there's quite a lot of it, and the occasional, bit of rotten flesh, whatever, it doesn't matter if it ends up in these chests. I can deal with it when I'm taking all the stuff out to turn into iron blocks. So yeah, it's just a whole load of hoppers pointing into the back of these chests. Alright, so I've gone ahead and implemented that here. So I've got a system, it's only running into the chest on this side now, rather than both sides, and then that's feeding into the poppy filter with the redstone back here, and then that's producing the bone meal down here, and then the rest of it's going into the iron storage, which is all of this. You can see I'm filling up quite a few chests because it's been running a little while now. And I do have an overflow protection, but it's just a simple chest at the end here. So at some point, I will probably want to put a dispenser, which will click things out into lava. But as I've still got another, 4 columns of double chests here, and I can craft this all into blocks at some point. So I can, fill these all up with iron blocks. I think it should be okay for a while. So yeah, that's something I might do when I get a chance, but I don't want to worry about it too much just yet, because I have to make sure it doesn't, click any redstone constantly or anything like that, because once again, this is in the spawn chunks, so lag is a concern. Oh yeah, you might notice I've got some more zombie villagers here, which I'm going to cure up to sell iron to, and also this episode, I think I want to design a sort of an entranceway here. So I think one of the big jobs here is taking out all this grass on the floor, replacing it with, I think I might go with polished andesite. I think that'll look fairly industrial. But I think I just want to keep it as this entranceway. So it goes sort of just up to the chests. And along one side, I think I'll want the zombie villagers. And then along the other, I can have, storage for poppies and the iron blocks and stuff like that. And I'll try and decorate it to make it look like the entrance to a factory. But I think once you get to sort of here, it's quite nice to actually be able to see the inside of this. So you can check everything's working. You can see all the iron golems dropping down. So yeah, I'll try and decorate this. And then after that, I want to get started on my cat shop, which I want to put out here. And the reason I'm putting it over here, and I can't fly, okay, I'll just run over. The reason I'm putting it over here is because of this. If I bring up the chunk borders, which are hard to see with the shaders on, this is just outside the spawn chunks. So the entity processing chunks have to be another 2 chunks in. So you can see this comes right up to the edge of the iron farm. And then I've got 2 chunks here. And then I'm going to put the cat shop in here. Try and give it a jungle design to match with sort of the rest of my base, which will be around in the trees up here. And you can see I've brought a couple of cats over already. But yeah, I want to get all the cats out of the spawn chunks so they're not constantly loaded, because yeah, even just being entities in the spawn chunks can lag the world a little bit. And I know I certainly have some problems with lag trying to fly and stuff, and some of the other Centrics have problems logging on. I don't know if that's a lag issue or connection issue, but either way, it doesn't hurt to keep lag in mind when doing stuff. So yeah, I think I want to build a cat shop over here, separate it into sections for all the different types of cats. So I've got another black one here, and a jelly cat here, and yeah, so I need to move all of these cats over, and I'm not sure whether to design this first and then move them over, or try and move them over first and then sort of design it around them. I think I might try and get the main design done, bring the cats in, and then adjust it if I need to. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. So yeah, those are the tasks I got with this episode, and I'll see you once I've got a little bit of work done on one of those. So I was lighting up this cave, came across Zombie Villager. I was like, oh, that's exciting. I can add it to my collection of ones to trade iron with. And it had this sword, which has sharpness 3 on it, and it managed to kill me, and now it's wearing my stuff. And unfortunately, if they're wearing your stuff and you cure them, the stuff is just gone. That's it. It just disappears, which is just incredibly annoying. So I'm going to have to kill off the zombie villager to get my stuff back, which is a bit unfortunate. Ow. Yeah, so that's what happens when I get hit by my own sword. So it's like sharpness 5 diamond sword. So yeah, that's a bit sad. But at least I've got my stuff back, I suppose. Alright, so I've started building my sort of cat shop. That's a word. Struggling to remember the word shop. Wow. And I was thinking I want to do it like this. And actually, it'd be quite nice with the cats for them to actually be on grass, I think. I think it would work quite well as if they've, still out in nature. And I feel like making it all enclosed is going to make it feel like you're not treating the cats right and they're not getting out. I think it'd be a lot better to have it so this middle section is sort of under shelter, and then I've just got fences around all the enclosures, because I wanted fences between all the different ones anyway. So I'd have, each different type of cat in a pen, and I'd use 2 sets of gates so they can't run out, and then have a strip down the middle so people can walk along. Probably have signs with the cat type and the cost, and then somewhere probably at the end a chest with raw salmon to tame them. Maybe some name tags as well. Make that like an extra diamond to get a name tag to name your cat. I'm not pressing the keyboard. Was that moving me forwards then? What is that? Yeah, I think what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to take these walls down. I'll possibly keep in the jungle pillars and just put fences around all of this. And maybe at the back make them a double high fence. And then in the middle, I want a sort of canopy over the top. So I think I might use, and I've seen this in quite a few other people's videos, is campfires. If you put them out, they look quite good as a sort of temporary roof structure sort of thing. So yeah, I think I'm going to take these walls back down. I'll probably keep this middle bit, so it's got a sort of, wooden slabs along the path in the middle. Stop it getting muddy as people walk up and down, that sort of style of thing, with a little bit of a roof on top, but it doesn't look too much like a solid building, so it's much more sort of outsidey. And yeah, and then I can try and decorate each of the pens. I was thinking about trying to get grass in and stuff, but if you're trying to tame the cats, having actual grass makes it really difficult to click the cat with the fish. So I'm going to have to try and work out the decoration quite carefully. Hello. Oh, and he's managed to set me on fire. That's great. All right, so I'm going to take down this wall and start putting in the pens, and I'll be back with you then. All right, I thought I'd bring you back in for this because you get quite a funny view through here of just all the smoke coming off of the campfires because I haven't put them out yet. Yeah, I think it's coming along nicely. I've got these little shelter bits, so the cats have sort of, you know, a dry place and then a sort of outdoorsy place. I haven't put the cats in yet, although there's a trader here with some trader llamas, and I'm going to sleep the night away before I get attacked again. And yeah, then it's just a case of going through all of these and putting them out. And here we go. I've got a sign up the front of this now, and I've moved all the cats into their individual fenced in, what are they called? Pens, I guess. I think I want to put a pixel art cat face up here. Hopefully that won't, you know, stand out too much and it'll blend in all right. But I think like this, it's a bit too just sort of plain and square. So I think adding that will actually help give it a bit of character. Yeah, so I've got all the cats in. I haven't released them yet. So I'm going to put in fences here and then gates. So it's got, you know, like an airlock system. So when someone goes in to tame one, the others aren't going to suddenly run out. I've got a few of each. I try to keep, if I've got like 4 of them, they've got these bigger pens in the middle. And then the smaller ones have 2 or 3 in. I've also got ocelots down the end here. I don't know if I mentioned this already. 2 of these I actually fed a fish to because I'm pretty certain once you make them tame to be around, they're just tame to be around all players because it's not player specific. They're not going to follow me. They don't think I'm their like owner like cats do. So I think it's possible I might want to actually leave these ones in boats. So if people want them, they can boat them out. And if that's the case, I'm debating putting in like a nether portal back here for transporting them out. I could possibly dig it into the wall a bit so it's not, you know, obstructing the view. But I think that's probably an option worth pursuing. And yeah, that's this so far. So next job is the pixel art. And I think I'm going to need some coloured wool for that probably. And I'm pretty certain Amradorn sells it in his village. So yeah, I'm going to buy some of that, put up a cat face, and I think that'll be pretty much of a cat shop done. Once I put in the gates and the signs and release the cats. And here we go. I ended up going with 2 cat faces because they're an odd width. And I didn't want to stretch out the middle to 2 blocks or anything because they have the like single nose. So I decided it'd make more sense to have 2 separate cats. And there's like some variation as well. So I did the calico and the tuxedo cats. So yeah, I quite like them. And then I've gone in, I've put up signs with the cost of the cats. I've adjusted them for sort of rarity, almost. So the ones I've got lots of are fairly cheap. Like tuxedos, I've got 4, and I think there were more of them. So I don't know if some cats are more common than others, or whether it's just I've seen more of some than others. But I've made the black cats quite expensive because it took me ages to get one of them. I don't know if they're tied to moon phases, I think I read somewhere, because you can also get black cats from witch huts, so there's that as well. Yeah, and I've used the names that the Minecraft wiki gives all of them. So we've got all the jelly cats. I've also, yeah, with the ocelots, I decided I would break them out, and then if someone wants to adopt one, they'll have to just get it to follow them with some fish. They're all tame, but they'd be tame for everyone. So yeah, they're a little bit different to the rest of the cats. And I guess the next thing to do is to put in, I guess, a couple of chests over here for payment and, well, one needs to have a whole load of raw fish in it, so that when they come here to buy the cats, they can take the raw fish and feed it to the cat they want until they get them. So yeah, I think I'm going to put that right up this end, with like the payment chest and yeah, the fish chest. And I now have this in place. So I haven't actually put in the name tags and raw fish yet, so that's something I need to do. Do I still have? I should have some in here, which was my, yeah. So I will grab some of these to put in. And I think that will actually be it for the shop. I will buy some more name tags, so there's plenty there. And there's an anvil there for using. And then, of course, the ender chest and a payment chest. So, yeah, that's it. I think this is the cat shop complete. And I know I said I was going to work on the entrance to the iron factory. But I don't think I've got enough time left for that this episode now. So this, I think, is going to be a bit of a shorter episode. And then I can work on the entrance there in the next one. And then I think I might also get started on the path out here, because I'd quite like to have a path going along here and to the entrance. But I think if I want to do that, I'll want to be making sure that creepers aren't coming over and blowing up the paths I create. Because as you can see from the landscape, there's usually quite a few creeper holes around here. Doesn't help that I do tend to fight them to get a bit of gunpowder, so a gunpowder farm wouldn't go amiss. So that might be a project for an upcoming episode at some point. But I think that this is actually going to be all for this one. So if you have any feedback, if you don't like the style of letters I've done back there and think they need to be a bit neater, or have a suggestion for something else to do with the cat shop, please let me know in the comments down below. I love to hear other people's thoughts on stuff I'm doing. But that's going to be all for this episode. I've been Recoded Zaphod, and thanks for watching.